Well, today's a big day. We're going to be taking this Boston whaler, we believe it's a 1959, down to Lake Hartwell today for a trial run, or sea trials. And I want to show you first, before we get going here, something I made up. As you recalled, I did a repair to the inside corners at the transom here where they were starting to crack the gel coat and flex a little bit. So I got those corners braced up. But obviously when you're trailering down the road, you want to support the motor so that it doesn't put a lot of torque onto the transom. So I've built what I call the poor man's transom saver. So I'm going to give you a little tour of that. And here's my poor man's transom saver. So let's start underneath and see what I did. Now obviously the idea behind a transom saver is to transfer the weight of the motor to the frame of the trailer. So I've got a 2x4 with a 2.5-inch hole cut in it, and then I straighten it out, and I'm able to tuck it in there, turn it down, and then underneath with this piece of plywood I'm able to screw it to that piece of plywood for some nice rigid support, and it clamps it to the trailer frame. Moving on up, you'll notice I've cut some almost like a spoon-shaped notch that allows part of the bulb of the gear case and then the fin of the skeg to hold this rigid. And then I've got a nice super tight bungee here with a couple holes drilled in the top to be able to hold that, and that thing is rigid as anything. And really just with some scrap materials I had looking online, you know, 75 bucks for a nice transom saver with a little angle, and you know, for now this will do just great. So we'll probably get a proper one at some point, but as long as this one works. All right, change in plan. We ended up coming to beautiful Lake Keowee here near Seneca, South Carolina. There's only 2 other vehicles here today. Everybody's at football games this time of year, so it is not busy at all. So I'm gonna get this boat ready to drop in the water, put the plug in, get everything ready to roll down into the water. So here we go. Alright, real pleased with the way this motor's running. We're able to run at a nice low idle. Engaging forward. Shift back into reverse, all without it conking out, which is really important for shrimping. Alright, we got the fish finder going. I don't know if you can see that in the screen here or not, but we're in about 85 feet of water right here. Well, that was an exciting ride. We had a lot of fun out there at Lake Keowee, South Carolina, testing out this Boston whaler. Again, this is a 1959, one of the early models that Boston whaler came out in the Classic 13. This has, again, a 1975 Evinrude 40 horsepower outboard on it, and so the performance of both the boat and the motor on this were, they definitely met our expectations on this rebuild. We've had a lot of fun rebuilding both of these items, and it was really cool because this morning at church, one of the guys that I serve with at our church came up to me and said, "Hey, by the way, I found your videos on YouTube the other day," because he's building a motor that's somewhat similar, a little bit higher horsepower, and he said, I've got the little water muff that fits this style engine. If you recall, down there near the propeller, where that little fin sticks out there, that's where the water intake is on that. So he's going to give me the water muff that fits this style engine. So thank you to Joey for that offer, and I really appreciate that. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed along through this series. We broke 100 subscribers on this series, so I'm real excited about that, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who continues to watch, and those of you that have subscribed in this series. So next time, if you take a look at the corner up there in the video, you might see just the pointy end of the nose of that sailboat that I've been working on kind of off and on over the last year. That's a 1985 sailboat. It's made in Denmark, and if you want to follow that playlist, there's more information on the introduction of that, and I think it's time to get back to working on some of the elements that are needed on that boat. So until next time, we'll see you later, and thanks for watching.